Hi there, and welcome back to High School Days. If this is your first time, my name is Nomlindi. And what is High School Days all about? So, we talk about high school, we talk about university, and then we talk about the transition in between. And today I'm really excited about the topic that I'm speaking about. Um, yeah, I would really like you guys to comment down below if you've got any other tips for people who are going to varsity right now, and saving tips and what they need to buy. Right. So that's what we're talking about today. Is what do what do you need to buy for university, right? So you've gotten your acceptance, you're moving into residence or into private residence, and you're thinking, what do I need to buy? Okay. So I'm going to be just generally speaking about the things that you need to get for varsity and saving tips, right? I'm going to call them golden tips. It's how to save cash on what you need to get. And okay, I will start the video off with this point is that even if you're looking at all these things that I'm saying, like, yo, you need this, you need that, you need that, you need that, and you do not have the resources to get all these things, I would still encourage you, go anyways, right? Go anyways. Even if all you can do is literally just pack the clothes in your suitcase and show up, go anyways, because I honestly believe that God has a way of providing for things, and you'll get to a place and things will be sorted out that you didn't even think would be sorted out. Things will be there and provided for you that you wouldn't even expect to be provided for you, right? So, even if you can't get any of these things, just come to varsity anyways, man. Come to varsity. As long as you have the work ethic and you know that this is what I want to study, this is what I'm called to do, go for it, okay? Um, so the first things first is bedding, okay? So when you move to varsity, you need your sheet, you need your covers, you need a pillow, um, yeah, you just the basics like when you sleep at home. I would advise you to bring your winter blankets with, okay? And here's why. Varsity is divided into 2 semesters, right? 4 terms. So you have 2 terms in 1 semester. In between those 2 terms, you have what is known as a recess or a break, or I don't know what different varsities call it, right? It's typically a week. But varsity students like to joke and say, well, I joke and say, that is a study break, okay? It's not a holiday, it's a study break. That recess in between, it's to catch up on all the work that you haven't done. Although some people do go home, majority of people during that recess stay in residence or stay in the city in which they're studying, right? So chances are you're not going to go home until those holidays, that break between first and second semester. So you're probably going to go to varsity in February, and then you're only going to return home in around June, July. By then, winter has already started. Hence why I advise you, when you come to varsity for the first time, pack your blankets with you, pack your winter clothes with you, pack those jackets with you, put them all. A great way to save instead of bringing blankets is an electric blanket. But I know that not everyone is okay with the electric blanket. Like, electricity, and it's load shedding as well. So bring the blankets with. But if you prefer electric blanket, that definitely also works, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing that you need is things to eat. So you need your plates, you need your bowls. Bowls is for like cereal and stuff. Cutlery, so your spoons, your forks. Make sure you have a big knife as well, like to cut things. If you'll be cooking for yourself. Um, Teaspoons, different things, just normal things that you would need. A wooden spoon. Here's an odd piece of cutlery that you probably will need that you won't think about. A tin opener. Like a tin opener, especially if you're going to be buying and cooking things for yourself. If you're buying like canned fish or tuna, or beans, you're going to need a tin opener. It's a super random thing, but you'll probably need it. Um, Here's a quick way to save on that. Just take it from home. Just take it from home. I took 2 bowls from home. Bring 2 forks, 2 knives. Just take it from the cupboards at home. 2 plates, 2 cups, 2 glasses. There's really no need to buy it, unless you want to buy it and have the, the shopping experience and just buy new things, for, I don't know, then go for it, right? But there's absolutely no need to buy it new if you've got it home. And then the third thing that I've written here is a pot, okay? And maybe I bought one pot. It's a medium pot, but it would probably be more convenient to bring two or three pots. Try to avoid small pots, but it completely depends on how you eat and the portions that you eat and so forth. But I would avoid small pots because in varsity, what usually happens is you're busy, you have a lot to do. So having a big pot, right? Most varsity students do meal prep. So you don't cook for the day, just for one day. You cook for 2 or 3 days, right? So when you cook, you want to be cooking a big portions. Um, Let me show you the pot that I have. Oh, this is so random, but this is around the size of pot that I have. It might look a bit bigger than it is, but it's a medium pot. And in this pot, I can usually cook enough for a couple of days, right? Alongside big pot, you need big containers, right? So you can't cook a lot of food and then have no containers to put it in. So these are the size containers that I have. If you have two, three, I'd say 2 to 4 of these big containers, you should be fine. You should be fine. Um, so yeah, so those are the things. Okay, so the next thing on my list is now we're going to be moving to bigger things that you may need to invest in. And we're going to be talking about the stove, the fridge, and those first thing. Okay, stove, fridge, kettle, and iron. Those four things are probably things that you need. But let me tell you how to get around these things. Firstly, with the stove, right? A stove, if you're moving into a residence, right? They may already provide a two-plate stove for you, which is typically what you need, a two-plate stove. Not the big stove. Don't go buy the big stove now, okay? The two-plate stove that you get, some residences that you apply. I remember the first 2 years that I was in varsity, it was a private residence and they already provided the two-plate stove. They already provided the kettle, and there was even a communal fridge. So there was no need for me to buy these things, right? Um, so even in residence, even though they don't provide stoves, other people in residence bring their stoves. So then we all just share. We all just share. You cook on someone else's stove, and most people generally don't mind if you use their stoves as long as you keep it clean. That's just one thing. Just keep things clean. Most residences provide microwaves. I've never had to buy a microwave in private residence and where I live now, which is a residence. I've never ever had to buy a microwave. Um, a stove, I haven't gotten a stove, like I said, but it is nice to have your own stove so that if someone else isn't using someone else's stove, then you can just cook whenever you want. But you might find someone using your stove. So another thing that I forgot is, um, so sometimes you can buy a stove and a pot, but there's kind of electric pots almost. I think I'll put a picture here. It's electric pans, electric pots. So instead of completely buying a separate stove and a separate pot, you just buy it in one thing. I know someone around here who actually uses that, and it looks so cool. It looks so simple, it's so efficient and convenient that she just cooks everything in there and then just, no need to buy a stove for herself. And then a bar fridge, right? So typically most students need a fridge. I remember when I moved into first year, when I moved in my first year, a fridge was one of the first things I realized I needed, because especially if you're cooking for yourself, you're probably going to need a fridge. If you eat residence food, you might still need a fridge if you want to buy milk for cereal, or you want to buy, I don't know, you want to cook for yourself now and again. But a fridge is always a nice thing to have if you need to freeze something. It's highly advisable. I would say it's 9 out of 10 times advisable, but there is a chance that you will cope without it, right? So, how to get around all of these things? What I'm about to say is going to be controversial, especially for people who are already at varsity, right? Or it might not, I don't know. What I would advise is that before you buy any of these big appliances, so you before you buy a two-plate stove, before you buy the fridge, before you buy the kettle, go to the place first that you're going to live in, move in first, see what they provide for you, and then you can buy the bigger appliances, right? So, in most places, how to get around the fridge, in most places, there will be a communal fridge, right? So, your private residence or your residence will have a communal fridge. I know some residences don't, but most residences do. However, the problem with these communal fridges is that food often gets stolen out of it. But if you have no other like choice, you like, look, dude, I can't get a fridge, then put your food in the communal fridge, right? Stove. Um, go to the place that you're going to be staying in. Check. Do they provide two-plate stoves? Some of them do, some of them don't, right? But you can get around it. People borrow each other's stoves and they use each other's stoves. You can get around it. Kettle. Um, where I was living in first, second year, they provided a kettle for you, but I just had a kettle just in my room. But there was no need for you to have a kettle. Go check to the place. Do they provide a kettle, right? Where I live now, they already provide kettles, right? So most of the time, kettles are provided for. The one thing that you definitely will not find provided is an iron. So if you want an iron for your clothes, then definitely buy yourself an iron. But you can borrow from your roommates or your flatmates or your housemates or your residence mates. You can be like, hey, dude, can I please borrow an iron? And they'll get you an iron. They'll give you an iron. Most people are just friendly when you're living together. So if you can't get an iron, you can always borrow one. Um, here's a tip though. Here's like one of the biggest tips that I can say. If you go onto Instagram, right? If you go onto Instagram, usually there is an official varsity page. So whichever university you're going to, they have an official Instagram page, most of them. But there is often a separate Instagram page that is not affiliated or associated with the university, but the students of that university socialize there. So they post memes, funny memes about varsity or about assignments, and often most of them have markets, right? So often it will be the university abbreviation. Just kidding. Like that's typically what they. So just type in your university abbreviation, the university you're going to, and then after that type just kidding. Some of them are different. A lot of them are different. So go there, and what will often be on that Instagram page is a market, right? So people who are graduating or second years are selling their first year textbooks. So if you're looking for textbooks, just go onto that page. Second years are selling their textbooks from first year. So you can get already your first year textbooks at a discount. And students who are graduating, right? They're selling their fridges, they're selling their second hand um two plate stoves. They're selling I don't know, I actually haven't seen two plate stove being sold, but but they're selling their things. If you're moving into a place that's unfurnished, they're selling their beds. They're just microwaves maybe. Like there's people are selling all kinds of things on those markets for maybe almost half the price that you would get it for. Um yeah, so if you want to find something that's more affordable, then go on to those pages. But now we're going to move on to m- miscellaneous. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I probably really messed it up. But basically, the random goodies that you need, the random stuff that you probably during the year will probably need to buy. First thing, it's load shedding, right? So if you can get yourself a light for the room when the electricity goes off, so that you can study properly, please do. Um, you can buy it, I don't know, at any kinds of shops. If you can get yourself a laundry basket, right? So when you're doing your washing, you often need to carry your stuff or your clothes down. So you can get yourself a nice laundry basket. You can get it at any shop, literally any shop. Then get yourself a laundry basket. If you can get yourself a lamp, right? I remember buying my things for varsity, and my mother told me, buy yourself a lamp. And I didn't understand why I would need a lamp, right? I thought lamps were just for aesthetics. You do not know how many varsity students use a lamp. Because if you're going to get a roommate, instead of switching the room light on, get yourself a lamp so that if you study in the room, which I don't do, but if you study in the room, then you can use the lamp. Or some people just don't like the room lights because they're usually cold. Cold means they look bluish almost. And that kind of light is it's an unfriendly light. I don't know how to describe it, but it's cold. Um, that's yeah, that was completely abstract. Whatever description I just said there, just throw it out. um but mostly like the warm light of the lamp, maybe it helps you to sleep better, helps the room feel better. um but mostly you will use it to study. And then another thing I added here is, oh, a fan. So winter or summer, depending on where in the building your room is situated. If it's a room that faces the sun and gets a lot of sun, then you will probably want a fan. And here's another thing that I've seen students using, air fryers. Uh, Definitely not a necessity. I don't have an air fryer. I don't. But the people that I've seen who use it really have no complaints. It seems really easy to cook stuff, really quick, and they seem to enjoy the things that they cook. So if you want an air fryer and you have the means to get it, go for it, I think. And if your building allows it, obviously. And this is not including things that you need academically, like a laptop. That's completely separate. um I know, I don't know, but most varsities have libraries with computers that you can use if you really can't get a laptop, or maybe renting laptops. And on the pages for students, you can probably get a second-hand laptop. But yeah, that's really it. For people who are already in varsity, if I am missing things, I know varsity students have all kinds of hacks, all kinds of saving tricks to get around like purchases, large purchases. So if you have any tricks, please type it in the comments down below, because I think we all need to come together in order to help people who are moving into varsity. Just help them to get there as easy, as efficiently, as stress free as possible. Um, yeah, but that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it's been helpful to some extent. And if there's anything that I'm missing, then I'll probably make a separate video about it. Like, hey, and add this, and or I'll put it in the description down below if I've missed anything important that I think I should have added. But yeah, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you're moving into varsity, I hope for a peaceful stream, just flowing move in. If you ever feel overwhelmed, just relax. You will get through this. It'll be fine. Bye.